Okay, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is called I Have No Left. This was inspired by something Heidi Baker said of Iris Ministries, and so I don't want to steal her thunder, but if you're not watching Heidi Baker and you haven't seen what she says and you're watching the things I'm saying and you've clicked onto this video, this is for you. Heidi Baker says that in her relationship with Jesus now, she's got no left. Jesus asked her to do things, extraordinary things in her ministry, and she used to say no. She used to say, no, I don't want to do that. Now she doesn't say no to any request of the Lord. She can go into a dangerous situation that she knows is a dangerous situation because the Lord sent her into that, saying He'll protect her. She's been beaten and hit and bashed and shot at and all sorts of things, and so you can understand that she would say no in certain situations, but she's got no left. But we're here to hear what I've got to say, not what Heidi's got to say. You can go and look up what Heidi's got to say, but here's what I've got to say. Jesus told me to prophesy over Todd Bentley. And I prophesied over Todd Bentley, for example, and I copped up heaps and heaps of flack for it. Heaps and heaps of Christians called me a false prophet because Todd Bentley, they believe, is a false teacher and a false prophet, and I'm a false prophet for prophesying good things over him. They convinced me so much that I almost believed that what I prophesied was false. I wasn't instructed by God to prophesy, and I didn't prophesy something from God. Now, I've prophesied 5,000 times and stuff, and sometimes I've been wrong and in error, and it's been me speaking or a demon speaking. So I freely admit that, but I don't think what I prophesied over Todd came from me or a demon. I really believe it came from God. Now, that was bad enough, but then Jesus said do a second lot of prophecies over Todd and a longer one. I did a 3-part prophecy over Todd. This is the sort of thing I could have said no to. I did a prophecy over Heidi Baker. She was very happy with it. Then the Lord said do a second one, and that's the sort of thing I struggled with. I didn't want her thinking that I was trying to make any approach on her and make any leverage on her by doing a second prophecy. I could have said no to that, and I had a lot of opposition in my spirit to doing that, but I went ahead and did it. Okay? Walking in the Holy Spirit, true intimacy with Jesus is to do what He says to do. When He says for me to go and approach a male and tell him that a certain thing, he may be a big male, he looked pretty violent, but I need to go up and tell him what Jesus says to do. Listening to Jesus, having the ability to hear Jesus brings a lot more responsibility. I'm in a situation too now where I do what the Lord tells me to do. I've got no left. Jesus is, it says in Psalm 145 that the Lord is right in all He does. The Lord is always right. The Lord, when He directs you to do something, is right. He's got wisdom that far surpasses the wisdom of this world. An action that He says to do these days will benefit in years to come. We're not to understand. We don't have to understand the ramifications of the action that the Lord wants us to take today. If He tells us to cut a person out of our life and completely cut that person out of our life, we may not understand why He says what He says to do. But we need to obey Him in that action, even if it looks stupid. So I have no left, like Heidi in that way. Even though I'm just a little person, Heidi Baker is a big person. We're walking the same path with Jesus. Jesus has led me to a point where I'm doing everything He tells me to do, even what people perceive as the wrong thing, like prophesying over Todd Bentley. Even what people perceive as the wrong thing, I'll still do. And I'll do for Jesus when He asks me to do it. I hope that you learn something from this. I hope that you'll be able to walk in a position one day where you do everything that the Lord speaks to you. See you.